K975, real hip hop and R&B. I am that girl Royalty Big C, not the little one. And today in the studio, I got Big Jaxs with an X with me. How you feeling?
That's me. I feel great. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. Look, I was so excited about this because just seeing somebody from North Carolina just going on Rhythm+Flow, showing out like that. How you feeling about that?
I feel great about it.
Okay.
That's all no, I'm kidding. I'm really excited about it. I feel it was a very different experience. It was a very exciting experience, and a little small town jazz on the big screen is a little crazy. But shout out to Netflix for believing in me.
Let's take it back a little bit. So what originally got you started into making music?
Ooh, I was young, really, really young, and my parents both are really big hip hop heads.
Okay.
And they used to play a lot of like DMX, Busta Rhymes, Eminem, Missy, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, one day I was just like, this kind of hard. I feel like I could do it. Like I feel like I could. Let me try my hand at this.
Yeah.
And it started off with like poetry, kind of. Like I would just kind of write these weird, super dark poems. My mom would be like, you good? And I'd be like, yeah.
You okay?
I don't know. I might not be. But from there, it just kind of, I wrote my first rap in like the 6th grade. And it was hard. I don't care what nobody say. Like that's, to this day, one of my hardest.
Dang, that's great.
One of my hardest pieces.
Okay, and what was that piece about? Because you said it was 6th grade, but it was hard. So now I got to know.
I was like, get the name straight as Jazzy J for show. I'm rapping on the stage and dancing on the floor.
Oh.
Never touched a stage at that point in my life before. The streets didn't know that. The cafeteria didn't know that. So it was hard, the little cafeteria beat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. Especially you like, what, 10, 11 at that time?
Couldn't tell me nothing. I was really that girl.
Now, fast forward, you got on Netflix. Can you tell me how that happened?
So... I was just divine timing, truthfully. So I don't, you have like requests on your Instagram messages. I didn't I never really read those. Like I never really looked in it. Like when T-Pain said, I didn't even know that was a thing. I really had never really read them. So I'm talking to my homeboy, shout out to Buka. I'm talking to my homeboy and we were chatting about something. And he was like, yeah, because I know you probably get a lot of Instagram request messages. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like people like what do you mean by that? Like, he was like your requests and your messages. I'm like, what's that? I don't know what that is. He's like, go look. So I go look. And literally one of the first messages I see is from this guy. And he's like, yo, like, I'm doing this, I'm doing casting for this show. I think you will be a great fit. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's like he might be doing like an Instagram series or a TikTok series or something. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. Well, publicity is publicity. So I'm always down to rock out, So he told me I had to do the application and send in like a video of me rapping. So next day I was at the pool. I literally sent like a 30-second freestyle of me rapping at the pool in my bathing suit and everything. Like just out there,
crazy.
Like, thinking, just thinking. So then I get a call like a week later and they're like, yo, like we want you to do this next part. Do this for us. So I do the next part and I'm like, I wonder what kind of show this is going to be like. And then the guy calls me. He's like, hey, so we really like you. We want to move you to the next round with producers. And I'm like, the next round? Like, what kind of Instagram show is this where y'all got different levels? And they were like, no, it's actually a rap show on probably the biggest streaming platform you can think of. And I'm like, TikTok? So I'm like, he said streaming platform. I'm like, Netflix? And he like, yeah. And I'm like, is this a scam? Like, am I getting? Am I
like at that
to
point,
an abandoned warehouse? Like, I thought it was a scam. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And he's like with some big artists. He's like, I'm not gonna say what the show is, but last season they had Cardi B, and I'm like, you're lying. You're a liar. You're a liar. And sure enough, that process drug out for like 8 months, and then finally it was like, wow, it was real. It was real. I thought I was gonna get kidnapped and murdered, but I did. So yay.
When did you realize, like, dang, like, nah, this real. Like, I'm finna be on Netflix.
It took a minute because the process started in like, that was like the end of July. I had got the first initial emails and it went all the way up until, we didn't film until that following January. So this last January 2024. So it was like 6 months. I was just kind of, and at that point I had got evicted. I had totaled my car. I didn't have a car. I had lost my job. So I was like sleeping on my homegirl's couch.
That's
like,
wild.
It was absolutely insane. Like, and so when I was getting the emails, I was just like, yeah, I'm hoping this go through. Like, this is what they saying. They saying I'm gonna be on Netflix, but I don't know. It didn't feel real until I literally got off of the plane, walked into the building where they had all of us at, and it was like, this is like the audition for the audition of Rhythm+Flow. And I'm like, wow. So this is not...
This ain't no game.
Scheme. Like, this is real. Okay. I would have been got by this point, but
like y'all got me.
I was nervous because my flight had got delayed like 4 times. So I was like, this might be God telling me not to go.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go though. I'm gonna go. And it was very real. So.
And look at how that worked out.
Crazy
Now,
how God worked.
Look at God.
Every time.
Now, most of us may never experience being on a television show. So can you tell me, what is that feeling when you walk onto the set and you like, oh snap, like cameras, like we here.
It's like surreal. Like you kind of don't really know how to act. That's why if you watch like the first half of the season, I'm kind of like very like, because I don't know what to say. You never know. You know, people get canceled for a lot of stuff, and people be watching, like all eyes are on you at that moment. So it's like, I don't really know what to say, what not to say. I don't know what y'all going to say, what y'all want me to say. Y'all asking me a lot of questions, and I'm trying to keep it real cute on these cameras for y'all. Like, so it was kind of like being on eggshells at first, but the longer I was there, the more comfortable I got, especially meeting the people, like the cameramen and the production team and stuff like that. Like, actually knowing them as people, I think that's very important. If you're an artist, get to know the people who are helping make your production produce, please. Like, that's very important. So I'm getting to know them as people, and learning about them and where they're from and what they do and how long they've been doing it. I felt more comfortable, and it felt more like a relationship versus like reality TV where they're just trying to get you saying something spicy or something like that. So it felt very authentic. Like, okay, this is an actual, like, I don't think they're going to show me in a bad light. They're not going to go out of their way to get me to say something crazy or camera. Now, they did ask me some crazy questions. And I wasn't going for it. But for the most part, it was real chill. It was real chill. The experience was chaotic. Little to no sleep. It was very hectic. It was very fast paced. But I don't regret any of it. I would do it all over again.
Now, I do got a question about you saying it's chaotic, no sleep. There's a part in the show, because me and my fiance watched it. There's a part in the show where after y'all did one of the challenges, they tell y'all, like, all right, yep, you hopping on a plane, we flying. Yeah. Was it really that quick? Like,
right, yes. So first of all, they was like, when we left the hotel that morning, they're like, yeah, pack all your stuff. Okay, sure. We pack all our stuff up, and then they put it in a van or whatever. After they pair us up in them battle groups, and they say turn around, and we see that van, they put us on that van and took us straight to the airport, and we confused. First of all, we get to the airport, so obviously we didn't know where we were going at first. It was cold here when we were in Atlanta filming. It was cold in Atlanta already, so I had my trench coat on, but I'm still a little half naked up under the trench coat.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, y'all, it's a little chilly out here. Like, whatever we doing, let's get to it. So we get on the van. We hungry, we sleepy, we like, all right, y'all, what's next? They're like, we going to the airport. We like, dang, okay, straight to the airport. Where our bags at? They got a van full of our bags. They meet us at the airport. They're like, we're not telling y'all where we going. So when they finally told us Detroit, we were like, we ain't got no jackets, we ain't got no scarves. It's snowing out there. We're not going to Detroit. They lying to us. Y'all, they lying. Like, we were like, I'm not going. And they were like, we got gear for you guys. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't finna go. No, so you thought I was finna go to Detroit, get out in that snowy weather.
That changed
But
stuff.
no, it was literally like, and then in the airport, they were like, yeah, so the battles are basically like, you got 24 hours, write it on the plane. We're going to get to the hotel. You're going to sleep for 3 hours. You're going to get back up, and we're going.
Dang.
Yeah, so it was very...
Okay.
That was the worst part, honestly. That was the hardest part of the experience, truthfully, was how fast you had to write, memorize, and perform something.
That was actually going to be my next question. So you kind of answered it. I wanted to know, like, what was the most challenging part? Like, so if that's the case, did you feel like y'all kind of bonded because of the circumstances that you were in, or did it ever feel really competitive?
Trauma?
Okay. The trauma. Surviving Netflix. But
no, literally. Like, there were a lot of people that were very competitive.
Okay.
Understandably so, it's a competition show. I don't know why my brain is never, like, in real competition
right, because you.
And I don't mean that to sound, like, arrogant or anything at all, but I've never, like, doubted what I'm capable of. I know there are also other people who are very talented. There are people who rap better than me. There are people who sing better than me. There are people who make better music than me. But nobody does what I do. So it never feels like competition to me. Like, I feel like there's enough food on the table for everybody to eat. I've always felt that way. So yes, the hardest part was, like I said, writing, memorizing, and performing things. And what's been frustrating since the show has come out is people being like, because I had messed up in my battle. Me and the person I battled, we both messed up. We're human, like, it happens.
It happens.
So for people to be like, oh, if you're an artist, you gotta have what it takes. This is what artists do in real life. No, artists tend to perform songs that they have went and recorded and memorized and took their time with and performed at other places before. That's not what we're doing here. Even when we did our singles and our collabs, we still only had like 48 to 36 hours to write, memorize, and perform this song. That is a very difficult thing to do. That doesn't happen on a day-to-day basis. When I go and do these freestyles and stuff, these are not freestyles that I just wrote the night. Now, sometimes I have done that. I won't lie. I've done it before. Procrastination, that is fine. That's me. But for the most part, it's things that I have written and I have been like rehearsing for days, sometimes even weeks, because to have all these different raps memorized in your head, it can be a task at times. So that was definitely the most challenging part, just having to remember those lyrics and to be in front of people. Like, it was a live audience. Like, it wasn't just, the camp production. Like, there were people there. So we had to be like, you better remember your words or you're going to look crazy on that stage.
And to take it further than that, it's funny that people say that, and it's like, it's people that couldn't even, let's be honest, if you had to do it, you couldn't do it. But it's not even just the live studio audience. You also got Eminem standing right there. Eminem is like, a couple feet away from you?
That was my biggest thing. I'm like, are y'all not understanding? Like, I literally say on the show, Eminem is like my biggest inspiration. So to be standing in front of Eminem, to also be battling the only person that I was friends with on the show at the time, like, that was my only, me and LG got really close.
Oh, man.
That's really my dog. Like, so for us to be that close, and then I got to perform it in 24 hours, like, all the odds are stacked against me. Right. I'm in shambles, please. My stomach is in my behind. Like, so yeah, that was intense. It was really intense, and I was really upset about the battle at first. I was like, I messed up, and I hate that she didn't get her verse off, but as I kind of watched it, like, in real time, it was like, nobody understands what that experience was like outside of myself and the other people that experienced it with me. So there are a lot of people who are like, people like, you should have got sent home because you messed up in the battle. For sure. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I didn't. Okay. I did it.
Okay.
I'm still there.
Okay, and you
persevered.
You came through too. You came, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jaxs. I'm very, very shocked that you didn't win, because just seeing you come out there like that, especially let me talk my, I'm like, okay, yeah, let me talk my, period. Like, so how do you see yourself as a rapper now? Like, how do you see yourself as an artist? Has it evolved and you like, nah, I'm really like that?
I don't feel any differently than I felt before, because I've always said, whether it's 10,000 people listening to my music or 2, I'm going as hard as I can every single time. So I'm used to I will say, like, performing on the bigger stages is like, it's cool to have more people in the audience, but it doesn't feel different, because I've always performed to the magnitude that I perform now. When I was doing the open mics, when I was doing the Why Not Wednesdays, and I was showing up in my Kickback Jaxs t-shirt,
okay,
performing straight off the clock, it feels the same for me, because I'm giving that energy to both. It's always been about the people for me. Again, whether it's 2 people or 10,000 people, like, it's always been about the people for me, making sure I put on a show that I enjoy performing. Like, I enjoy the art of performing. So it doesn't feel like drastically different for me. The one thing that does feel different for me is when people stare at me in public, because they're trying to see if they recognize me, but they don't really know if they know me. So I'd be forgetting that I was on TV sometimes, and I'd be like, do you know me?
No, what are you looking at, girl?
Like, aren't you? I'd be like, aren't I who? I was actually in First Watch the other day, and this girl walked up to the table, and she was like, you look so familiar. And I was like, I do? And she was like, yeah. She's like, are you from here? And I'm like, no. She's like, why do I know you? And I'm like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. She's like, what's your name? I'm like, Jaxs. She goes, with the X? Oh, yeah, that is me.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I forgot.
But we love that. We love an artist that's able to go out there, really pop their stuff, and then they still humble about it.
God gave it here. Take it away.
There you go.
And it's quick as he gave it to you, so.
There you go.
I'm grateful.
We getting there with the time, but I do want to ask you, like, you got to meet so many incredible artists. You was there with Ludacris, you were there with Cali, you was there with Lotto, Big Sean, Eminem. I mean, I feel like they brought out everybody they could bring out, besides Beyonce. She wasn't there. But, they pretty much brought everybody they could. How was it?
It was It was dope. It was a dope experience. I've always said, like, the only person I feel like I would ever be starstruck with is Michael Jackson. Like, even if I see him in the grave, I'm probably still gonna be. I might fall out. I don't know. But just being around them, it wasn't like a moment of starstruck. It was a moment of like appreciation, like knowing what you've done in this, in this rap game and in this industry, like seeing what you've done and being able to be here and hear you kind of judge what we're doing. It was a very dope experience, especially with Ludacris, because my mom does listen to a lot. I listened to a lot of Ludacris growing up, and when we did the auditions, a lot of people come back in the room like, Ludacris don't like nobody. He don't like nobody. He not standing up. He not clapping. He not even smiling. So I was nervous. So when he stood up while I was performing, it was like, that was a real like sign of reassurance for me, because it was like, wow, like you're somebody we used to put your CD in and really go crazy to, and like here you are telling me how hard you think I am. So that was really dope. It was really just a very reassuring moment just to be in front of all of them. Remy, Lotto, Khaled, all of them, for any of them to have any positive words to say about anything that I did was just, I was grateful for the experience for sure.
That's really dope, man. That is so dope. Now we're here. So what has changed since you got back from the show?
People. Good way, bad way, both, in between. Nothing I didn't. I won't say nothing I didn't expect. Some of it I didn't expect, but a lot of it I did expect. A lot of people feel like I owe them something now, which I think is kind of crazy considering y'all only care now. Like a lot of them, and the people that are new, like I love the new supporters for sure. I love the old supporters too. Like, but there's a difference between like the people who like have known I've been doing this for a long time and have never shared anything, have never reposted, have never commented, and now they be going hard. Like, I been knew you was about that. You did?
Did you?
Why you ain't never tell me?
Did you?
You ain't never told me you thought I was built like that. But it's not crazy. There are a lot of people don't want to support something until they see other people supporting it. I'm not mad at it. I'm grateful for all the support regardless, whether it came then or now. But I've definitely noticed my life is a bit more chaotic now. So there are some people that are closer to me that haven't been as patient with me as I would appreciate them being. People get very, I am just a girl with
just
anxiety. I am just a girl with anxiety.
Talk about it.
I sometimes will cut all my notifications off on everything because it can be very overwhelming. And I think some of the people that are close to me, well, not close to me, but some people that have been around me kind of are like, well, we ain't heard from you. You ain't called us no more. You used to call all the time. You used to do this and this. It's like, I wish people would give me just a little bit more grace because I'm trying. It can be very difficult for me at times. I get in my head a lot about a lot of things. I assume I'm not doing enough all the time, so I'm always trying to do more. And I think that's a human experience. I think a lot of people feel that way. I'm very vocal about, I think people should be more vocal about the things that they experience in their life, especially as a black woman.
Yeah.
I experience a lot of pressure in my life, just my day-to-day life on a regular basis. I still pay bills. I still was getting up and going to work every single day. I was a middle school math teacher. I just left my job recently in December.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I was a middle school math teacher. I'm still going in and showing up for these kids while also having all these people in my comments like, you should have won Rhythm+Flow. It's been a very chaotic experience, but I'm very, very grateful for it. Very blessed, very highly favored, and I don't regret any of it. Even through my moments of anxiety, I have a great team. I have a great manager. I have a great creative director. They're always there to support me. Sometimes I do have to like shut everything off and be like, can y'all please respond to these people, because I cannot. I really cannot. But I don't know. I still love people. I still love talking to people. When I see people out in public and they recognize me, I absolutely love it. I get really excited because you recognize me. You like my music. I mean, they're like, you like my music? Thanks. Like, that really means a lot to me. Like, I never want anybody to think like I'm bougie or Hollywood, because that's absolutely not the case. If you see me and I don't speak, I'm probably didn't even, I'm out of it. I'd be completely out of it sometimes. Or if I don't respond to messages, it's just because it's just so many messages. And I'm trying to get to everybody. I love everybody down real bad.
Real bad. I'm glad you spoke on that though, because one thing about me, I'm a huge mental health advocate. So I love when people come on and they're honest about like, I get a little anxiety, and that is okay. It's okay.
Anxious girly.
Okay, and ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, before I let you go, I do want to know, what should we be on the lookout for?
Ooh. It's a lot y'all should be on the lookout for. I got a couple of shows coming up, a couple of radio interviews coming up. So I got a project coming.
Okay.
Maybe I might have some Valentine's Day music coming out. Who knows?
Uh-oh.
You know, maybe y'all should just keep your eyes open. I might got some crazy collabs on the way.
Uh-oh.
Who knows? I might have the Touch and Remix dropping on YouTube and SoundCloud soon. Who knows?
Just maybe.
Just maybe.
You know.
We don't know. We
gotta
don't
wait
know.
and see.
It's like getting to the center of a Tootsie Pop. The world may never know.
Jaxs, I love your personality. I love it. Please let the listeners know where they can find you on all social media platforms.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Black People Meet Farmers Only at _official JAXS. That is _official JAXS.
All right, you heard it here first. Jaxs with an X in the building. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.